drink, and pod. You don't get drunk and start podcasting. Bad idea. Because nothing's going to come out right. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest basketball players you've ever seen. One of the most complete basketball players you've ever seen. Somebody who has elevated their game to perfection, works on his game. Basketball is what he does, is what he knows. And the other person is LeBron James, a manufactured superstar of the league that they put on milk cartons and everything else. He's not even in the same conversation as Kevin Durant, and he knows it. That's what you're missing, all you LeBron people. While y'all keep talking about who's better, Jordan, and all of that. Michael Jordan even told you, y'all, I'm looking at Kevin Durant and seeing what he could do. But see, Kevin Durant is mentally submissive to the swarm of I don't want the attention of the aura of LeBron James, so I just stay in my lane and just hoop. I don't care about the hoopla. I just want to get high and drink wine, get drunk. I want to chill. He wants all the accolades. See, he wants all the accolades without the work. Now, we're here to get to the grease. Well, yesterday I had to spend quality time and do that, so I had to not go live last night. Forgive me, because I had a live I was doing yesterday that had to get derailed and put on the back burner. Now, enough about my life. I want to know about this. Now, Kevin Durant implied, and I do mean implied. Ooh, I like this. It's nice and cool outside. Kevin Durant went ahead and made a conscious decision to sort of mention Michael Jordan's name by saying one guy actually went to go play baseball. And it was just very condescending to Michael Jeffrey Jordan. When all of you have no right, I am by far one of the most biggest Detroit Piston fan there ever was, because I'm a Detroit Piston fan who have lived in Chicago throughout all the 6 Bulls championships and never rooted for the Bulls and Michael Jordan. I didn't switch up. Matter of fact, I kept the heat going. And there was no internet. I'm behind enemy lines repping the Piston flag and logo. I was there for the wins. I was there for the losses. Now, the scenarios, the more they supposedly change, they remain the same. Now, when we start talking about getting into the deep of what Kevin Durant said, even that, I respect Michael Jordan as a foe. I know what he did for this game. He raised the level of the marketability of the entire league. Not only that, he still outsells all of you guys put together from a marketing standpoint. He haven't played in about 20 some odd years, 23 years or whatever, since he played for the Wizards. Right? 23 years. He haven't put on a uniform or nothing. And you know what happened? In all that said time, his market value is higher than any player that has come along ever. Now, with that aside, you guys aren't even close. Y'all ain't running second. Y'all ain't running third, fourth, fifth. Y'all so far behind on past the totem pole, it don't make any sense. It's all about learning the truth. When it comes to certain players that you're not on that status quo, you shouldn't even use them in conversation. Jordan is one of those players that you guys are not privy to even talk about. As a player, I know you want to defend your era in the league you're playing in now, trying to say that today's players are way more skilled and have all these talents. You guys couldn't hold a magic marker up to none of those guys who names you don't even know. They would clean your clock, buddy. It's easy to score when can't nobody touch you. And you get to dribble into your sets and pull up and shoot jump shots. Let's see you try to hit those jump shots when somebody got an elbow to your ribs. Let's see you hit that jump shot when 4 guys run at you at one time. And I feel bad for the people, the young basketball fans who are too young to understand what basketball was like because they watch these highlight reels from 21-year-old tech nerds who can clip some videos together and try to create their own stories with their own AI doggone language modifiers, and they think they're telling you the story because they're following the information they got off a goddamn documentary. I get so tired of hearing this dumb shit. The Pistons, they used to beat Michael Jordan up until that one summer they got together and decided to lift weights. It's the dumbest goddamn narrative I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Lifting weights don't help nobody win a championship. You think the Chicago Bulls were the only team lifting weights? Of course they haters. Their generation they come from a generation of haters. Kevin Durant is just trying to validate his era. And in validating his era, they don't know how to do that without tearing down other eras. See, the older guys, they don't do that. The 90 guys don't even look at y'all. Guys who played in the 90s and 80s, they don't even look at y'all as competition in their era. So they don't think none of you really is in a category. Because they right. Y'all would be babies to them. You couldn't participate in some of those runs that they had back then. These are practice runs. 5-on-5? Y'all talking about all the plays y'all could do now. Yeah, the rules, okay? The rules allow you to do what you do. Not taking nothing away from Kevin Durant, because he's like a 7-foot monster who could shoot over anybody. He would have a chance. But believe me, the NBA every year has to change rules to allow you guys to score more. They got to let y'all do the step back. Basically, just to get your shot off. Whatever they did on the streets, they start allowing in your game. And it's like, when did we start doing that? When did we start allowing what took place in street ball to dictate what we do in real ball? Turn my Wi-Fi off. Okay, I turned it off. No, the game was pretty much dictatable. Okay? They had to alter the game of basketball so that you guys would be able to sustain, stay on the court, participate. Other than that, you wouldn't have made it. None of you would have made it. I don't understand why people who don't get it or understand the process, I don't get it. It's really simple. It's only basketball. It's not a complicated game. It just takes skills. And now you got these YNs coming in. And Kevin Durant, once again, smoking and getting high, getting drunk, talking about he thinks. And this is why you don't see Kevin Durant doing commercials too much and talking. Because he sounds stupid as hell sometimes. He said, the standard now is 20 years. Really? The standard is not 20 years. They trying to figure a way to get y'all asses out the game. Y'all don't want to leave. The NBA wasn't designed for you to play 20 goddamn years. You hear Lucas saying, oh, I ain't doing that. Luka don't want no parts of doing 20 years in the NBA. And you're not supposed to. That made LeBron so happy he don't know what to do. Like, all my records is gonna be good. Yeah, you got empty records nobody cares about. Longevity stats. Who cares about that shit? Nobody. So when you hear LeBron raving about it, it only makes him look stupid. Because what are you really celebrating? I'm serious. What are you really celebrating? No, they don't know anything about it. They don't research. They just go off what they think they know. That's what that generation is about. They think they know. They came up in a time where the internet was just getting booming. They grew up with they were the first generation to grow up with the internet. They were that generation. They almost were the 90 babies. So they don't know what it's like. I'm like, shoot, we were using floppy disks, like microfilm. I don't understand any of this. They told me the desired job and what I went to school for don't even exist anymore. Data processing. Data processing was supposed to be the big job. No, they're gonna need everybody to code. You gotta learn data processing. I was like, man, I did 101, 102. I'm like, this is it. They have no clue. So they always say, oh, yo, I respect the elders. I respect, but they really don't. They really don't. They were little kids when Jordan was winning 6 championships. They probably was like 6 or 7. They don't know nothing about 80s and 90s basketball culture. They grew up in the Shaq Kobe era. Jordan was in a Wizards jersey by the time they were like really watching the game. And when somebody want to talk about somebody being great, why they got to tear down the other? You see, I don't do Jordan comparisons with LeBron. That's stupid. I just shut Gilbert Arenas down on Instagram. He wants to do it off the scene with his own argument. He shows me articles and says, I can't argue with people's opinions because it's not facts. I need to only go by the facts. Can't argue opinions. So you just gonna come with your opinions. I can't beat your opinion. See, I need facts. So he shows me an article that somebody wrote. And because somebody wrote an article, that means that's facts, because it was written. So I said, okay. Showed him an article. Then he says, yeah, well, I was around that area. I was the biggest Kobe fan. And the fans will tell you. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's opinion. That's facts. And that ended the conversation because he had no wiggle room. There was nowhere else he could go. Because he just got beat with his own argument. And the whole thing is, why are you having this argument? Because he only wants hits and views. But I told him, whenever you feel like you're ready to debate, go for it. I lived it. You can't talk to Chicago, but I lived this. I had to witness all this crap while rooting against them. I hated what NBC built with the Chicago Bulls. It was marketable for them. It made them a lot of money. I hated it. Well, it doomed the league. That's why you don't see too many back-to-backs and three-peats no more. Unless they're the Golden State Warriors. They were the new rock stars. They made a lot of money for the league. And they just kept throwing LeBron James. Put him in the finals. Put him in the finals. But Golden State, they were the show. They were exciting to watch. Mm-hmm. Now, when I say Steph Curry is great, do I have to tear down LeBron? No. It's not even in the picture. When I say Michael Jordan is great, do I have to tear down anybody else? No. If I say Isaiah Thomas is the greatest player to ever play the game, do I have to tear down Michael Jordan and anybody else? No, I don't. When we say someone is great, we should be able to say they're great and back it up by their accomplishments or the reasons why they are great. There's so many things wrong with the way teams are being designed and how teams and people are going at them. 100%. Whenever they have a problem, they handcuff the defense and by making up new rules. Oh, this team plays good defense on their favorite players. Oh, you know what we got to do? Oh, we got to shut that down. Oh, this person ain't doing that. You know what we got to do? We got to shut that down. Why? That's something we got to do. He's playing too much good defense. We got to start calling fouls. There's so many things we don't know about the game of basketball. You might not know the name of the play. You've probably seen it before. But LeBron James is somebody that loves the attention. He loves this back and forth. He loves this wherewithal of words. Kevin Durant, I just want to tell you something. You better than that guy. I know you ain't got to say it, but you better than him. Why are you even hanging out with a person like that? You don't need him. You don't. You better than that. He want to do all the press, the media, and as long as you are submissive to him, that in his mind he feels he's better than you, but he knows you're a better player than him. And he got to come on your show to try to prop you up. It was pathetic to watch. It was really pathetic to watch. I had to start turning it off. That's how ridiculous it was getting. I said, man, this is bad. I had to get off. I said, I got to get off this thing because that's ridiculous. No one's going to ever believe something as stupid as that. Yeah, and still, people start to do so. None of this started to make anybody any money. No one paid a hill of beans to said situations. Well, the moral of the story is crystal clear. People just don't like attention. They don't. They don't like the attention. They don't like people that try to tell them what they need to do. They don't tell them, or they don't like for people to try to impose their will. They just don't like it. Now, here's the crazy part. Everybody in abundance are making up new rules. I'm serious. Kevin Durant was about to leave Nike. And what was that, 2015? I think it was 2015 or 2014. Whenever they had that Olympic team and they put together, Chris Paul was on it. Anyway, they had the practice game here. And then they came to Nike Town, and Kevin Durant was supposed to come and speak. I'm sitting there with Jordan Brand. Kevin Durant is unhappy. He didn't show up at the Jordan Brand event because he was contemplating leaving Nike. He wasn't happy about the launch of his shoe. And they were saying, Kevin, you don't market. I was there, right here in Chicago. They brought out their new signings. They had just signed Drake. They signed the violinist who was out here also. And they were signing other people. And I met with Larry Miller, who was president of Jordan Brand. And I met with Howard H., who gave me his book and signed it, autographed it. So I got H's book, which wasn't Michael Jordan. You know, Chris Tucker played him in the Air movie about Michael Jordan. He played H. So, H's favorite basketball player was the Big O, Oscar Robertson. That's why they called him the Big O. He wanted to be the Big H. Now, yes, I still have Larry Miller's phone number, direct contact information, the whole nine. Now, the problem in this said scenario was the fact that the people that was involved never got involved. Kevin Durant was basically, he couldn't market anything. You just had to go off face value when it came to Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant was like, well, y'all set up the thing y'all want me to say and do that. Man, I'm a hooper, man. I'm not an actor. I'm a hooper. So the Nike reps were there, and they all came there, and they had the game at the United Center, the practice game. And Kevin Durant was contemplating not even playing because of those situations with Nike. And because I was in that room while all that tension was going down, I could recall it. Who straightened that out for you, Kevin? Was it Michael Jordan himself? Y'all been in the league 20 years and don't have no weight, no leverage in the NBA. What does that say? Mike could retire for 2 years. Mike could have played 20 years if he wanted to. He could have played 20 years straight if he was in it for the numbers. He was done. He almost came back at 50 years old. He was going to play for the Charlotte Bobcats at 50. Jordan was working out. Oh. Yeah, he was going to come back at 50. He was working out with the Bobcats and was going to play one season at 50 just to be the oldest guy to ever do it. Because they said it couldn't be done. And after whooping on Steven Jackson and the rest of the team, Mike was on his way back. Then he suffered an injury, and that stopped that. Mike is so competitive. He don't even look at a basketball anymore. He won't even look at one. Let that sink in. He says, I don't want to touch a basketball. Because if I do, I'm so competitive. Even though he physically can't do it, he'd be out there trying to challenge. Most of these guys never seen the light of day, let alone, like they've been driven everywhere. How many of these guys actually had to dribble in the snow, play basketball in the snow? Hands freezing, shooting jump shots with winter gloves on. They don't know nothing about that. We in there, nose running, steam coming out our breath, playing in damn snow, sweating in the snow, about to catch pneumonia, just because we love this game so much. Who else do that? These new guys, they can't speak that language. They get driven everywhere. They get driven to the basketball practice. They get driven to the next location. They get shuttled from 13, 14, 15 years of age. All they know is camps, AAU tournaments and camps, AAU tournament again and another camp. Yeah, they up there like The View or somebody. Some gossip den, sipping wine, talking basketball. Who does that? I only sip wine when I'm at dinner with a chick. I don't sip wine with the fellas. My guys, they sip cognac and light up a stogie and sit out on the patio. That's what they do. What they don't do is what you just said. Of course not. They get driven everywhere. So they come up in a whole different lifestyle, and then they to people that was playing basketball with their bare feet. See, me, I'm what you call a born athlete. I can play any sport. You just tell me the rules, put me in it, and I'm gonna be good. That's just how it was. Baseball, pitching was my thing. I wasn't a great hitter, but pitching, that was my thing. Softball, I knocked the leather off the softball. Football, every position I could play. Every position. Running back. Wide receiver was my normal route they put me in. Cornerback. I probably was a better corner than I was a wide receiver. Well, I had great hands, great footwork. So I had decent speed. When I was younger, I was super fast. As I got older, my speed tapered off. So I had 5'11" speed. Well, when I was like 5'7", I was like a sprint of light. Then junior year, I shot up to 5'11". I think I was like 5'10", and I grew like 1 inch. My senior year, that was it. Man, I was like, when I went to high school, shoot, I was small. Because I started school early. So I looked like a 7th grader going to high school. When I graduated, they thought I was a freshman. That's just how we motivatedly moved throughout the whole process. Yeah, you can call it cap. I ain't got no reason to lie. I was good. Had everything I did. I ain't gonna lie. If I wasn't good at something, I'll let you know. Volleyball, good at that. Never really played tennis that much. My uncles played that, but they never really took us to play tennis. But you give me a racket, and I'm gonna make a racket. Table tennis, I was great. I had an unreturnable serve. And the ball had so much spin on it. As soon as you touch it, it shoot off and go in the other direction. I never held the paddle the way everybody else held the paddle. I don't hold it by the handle. I hold it by the paddle. They say you can't use the other end. I'm like, I don't need it. And then I hold it from the one side of the paddle and hit it. So it's like my hand is the paddle. And then I would just I would hit it and it would just it would land and hit the tip and come all the way off. Oh, I love that. When I time it just right, that's how you know you've been playing table tennis for a long time. Oh man. No. I had a paddle. Oh, that's Puerto Ricans game there, handball. Well, you gotta understand. When you see Kevin Durant sitting there with Nash, they have no disagreements on anything. This is what makes a boring podcast. You got these 3 players who are all afraid to ask any tough questions. Why would he be in his feelings? Well, if you see, you look at Kevin Durant and what he was able to do to the game. Hall of Fame, guaranteed. Steve Nash is going to go to the Hall of Fame for playing basketball. And of course, they're going to put that overrated bum in there. But this is a podcast show. It's trash. First of all, the set is ridiculous. Like, this is a horrible set. And all they care about is getting drunk and talking about the game. And really, they're not disagreeing on anything. They just having a conversation and no pushback, no other opinion or other side of the thought. There is no devil's advocate in conversation here. No matter what they say, yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, you're right. And then I saw Santa Claus, right? He was like down there actually putting cookies down there and some milk. He was drinking it. I swear to God, I saw it. Well, yeah, well, that happens. In some places they did say they see Santa. It's just no pushback. Everything is, we all agree all the time. We're Fox News. They never disagree. There's no disagreements, nothing. Everybody's on the same wavelength, no matter what they saying. I mean, come on now. You can combine the accomplishments of LeBron and Kevin Durant, and they couldn't touch Jordan. We don't have to do that. Okay, Michael Jordan's better than LeBron and Kevin Durant. We know that. Okay, stop. I love how they was like, Cino, you think Larry Bird was better than Kevin Durant? Larry Bird couldn't guard Kevin Durant. Okay? He couldn't guard Kevin Durant. Could Kevin Durant guard Larry Bird? Possible. If they were playing a one-on-one game, Kevin Durant would beat Larry Bird in a one-on-one. Yeah. I would believe that. But is he a better all-around player than Larry Bird? No. Larry's still a better player than him. Larry could pass. He could lead a team better than Kevin Durant. That's just the truth. He's a better rebounder, in the post, clutch, down the stretch. The game on the line. You want him to take it. Kevin Durant is up there, but he's not better than Larry Bird, in my opinion. No, LeBron has never been a good jump shooter. He's never had a post game. He never possessed any basketball abilities that jump out. Only thing that we saw LeBron do was jump real high. He used to fly, take off, dunk from the line in a basketball game, come from the free throw line and dunk. So that was his that was his, claim to fame at the time. Was running and taking off. That was it. Other than that, we weren't never, like, none of us was ever speaking on that. No, I like KD. Now KD is one of the few that could play in that era. Steph Curry in that day. I don't know if Steph Curry could play in that era. I really don't. Like Steph Curry's made for a 3-on-3, game. In the NBA, he'd just be coming off the bench in the 90s to hit a shot. You know, he come in garbage time doing 10, 15 minutes. He's not somebody finna come in the game. You're not coming down the lane, you know. And he's a pat the ball dribbler. He's not the aggressive, cuffing the ball type dribbler. He's a patter when he dribbles. He basically throws the ball in the direction he wants it to go without his hand being on it and just pat it back to the other side. Like pat, 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 pat. He mostly pat dribbles and then he'll catch it and pull up and shoot real quick. And it's really weird because it's hard to get your timing to block his shot. Well, a lot of kids believe Steph Curry just walks out there and just starts throwing up shots. What you didn't see is he shot 1,000 to 700 shots earlier that day to get himself ready to come in there and start doing shoot around and get ready for the games. He's already shot about 200 shots. He's did his reflex test and everything across the board. My whole interpretations is that when people see that you are completely unfazed by everything, it's just shocking to me, so. No, I just feel that those two, in comparison, should not even be having that type of conversation. Yeah, when I say people on the wing, and I say Paul Pierce is one of those guys. Like Paul Pierce was just quiet. You didn't really hear too much about him because he really didn't have nobody until he had Antoine Walker. And then when Walker fell off the wagon, they made that playoff run. He was basically holding it down by himself. And people weren't really seeing how dominant Paul Pierce was. Like after he got stabbed up, it's like he went into beast mode. Yeah, so that's how I felt about it, man. So I'm gonna get up out of here, start putting on and really doing what needs to be done. And I'll holler at y'all later.